Welcome into a beautiful, sunny, 70-degree Tempe, Arizona, as ASU looks to play upset against number 22 Denver. I'm Pierce Gordon, joined by Ian King here. As we have, again, beautiful day. Grass is looking pristine for the first home game of ASU's season. Again, looking to play spoiler against number 22 Denver. Their last game against Oregon started out strong, but then struggled as of late.
Yeah, definitely, Pierce. I mean, coming out into the first period, 5 goals for ASU, just 1 to Oregon. Sort of the same offensive tempo going into halftime. ASU was up 8-5, but we talked a little bit about a pregame, just a disastrous second half for ASU women's lacrosse, allowing 6 goals in the second half, 4 in the fourth quarter, and scoring none in the fourth quarter for ASU. So coming off a 12-11 overtime loss to the University of Oregon, not the way you want to go out. So ASU comes into this game 0-1 against a 1-0 Denver team who absolutely demolished USC in Los Angeles just a few days ago, winning 15-4. Denver showing why they deserve to be ranked number 22 in the nation. ASU, like you said multiple times, looking to play upset, looking to play spoiler, maybe get themselves near a top 25 approach.
Yeah, like you said, 15-4. I was back on February 12th. Just a dominating win heading into LA for Denver. But on the ASU side of things, the Oregon game, kind of just a very sloppy second half, filled with penalties, filled with a lack of transition goals. The Sun Devils really love to play fast. They want to immediately get it out of the net on a save and push it in the other direction, right in between the restraining lines, and just get things moving quickly. As intros underway here for Denver, what will also be interesting is for ASU, number one, Anna Vigileone, a very talented draw specialist for the Sun Devils, and one of the huge reasons they were up early in the Oregon game before, of course, the sloppiness and the collapse. But will be very interesting in the circle today with that matchup.
Yeah, Pierce, 11 in the game versus Oregon, totaling at 215 last season. I know a lot of teams like to have a few set draw specialists on their roster just in case, but Viglione has made it known that she is Arizona State's draw specialist for this year and probably next year going into her senior season.
Yeah, as ASU's intros underway, so a few Denver fans made the trip down to Tempe, and why not?
Wouldn't?
Yeah, who wouldn't? It's been a busy sports weekend for ASU as a whole. There's softball going on behind us, whole tournament with that, and I mean, why not?
You can practically feel the vibes of Papago Park as well. ASU going to finish off their 3-game series against University of Omaha, which they are currently 2-0. Softball still undefeated during the Littlewood Invitational. Right behind us, like you said, at Alberta B. Farrington Stadium. And now here at the Soccer Lacrosse Hybrid Stadium for Arizona State, looking to also please their fans at home like the rest of the teams have been doing this week.
Yeah, Sparky jumping up and down on the sidelines here.
Seems like he's everywhere all at once. He was probably at Farrington 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I mean, short walk over. It's a stone's throw away, little lacrosse chip shot away, you could say.
PA announcers might end up overlapping us during this intro.
But getting underway with this one soon. Really, just for ASU, transition. I think that's the key to the game. The draw circle obviously is also another key to the game, but in the lack of or being less sloppy, I would say, for the Sun Devils.
Most definitely. I mean, and something that this Arizona State team specialized in last season was the caused turnovers. You had a few people who are really good at controlling the ball. 14 caused turnovers from Tegan Ing, pretty impressive from an attackman, if you do ask me. Same thing with Lydia Oldno, had 10 last season. And speaking of Oldno, 4 points against Oregon, definitely going to be a name to watch on the attack side for the Sun Devils. I guess while we're on attack is the most fun part of the game. You come to watch the offense, so we could talk a little bit about these Denver and Arizona State attack rosters before the anthem gets underway. If you had to pick one player to watch from Arizona State here, who would you pick?
I think you already mentioned her, Lydia Oldno. The Virginia native had 3 goals, 1 assist, so 4 points versus Oregon back on the 7th, and really started out strong in that one. I think she's my probably player to watch for this game.
I would have to agree to you. I think my player to watch today, just so I could be a little bit different, is going to be Jordan Bahar. Finished last season with over 100 points, 38 goals, 65 assists, and obviously also made a 4-point statement at Oregon with 3 goals and 1 assist to her name. She was named the Big 12 preseason attackman of the year for a reason, looking to come in against what is a very strong Denver defense and make her name known, as I believe we are about to get the anthem underway.
Yeah, quickly before the anthem, we talk about, I think Olivia Ripple is my player to watch for Denver, coming out of California, 5'7", scored 5 goals in that USC game. As anthem about to get underway, and we'll catch you on the other side of it. As anthems are done, 15 on the clock in the first. ASU, again, looking to play spoiler against Denver. And I think, talked about this a little before the anthem, but the 5'7" Olivia Ripple from California, 5 goals on 5 points versus USC. And really, I think she's my Denver player to watch here.
I don't think I'm allowed to be different here, because if I'm picking a player of the game, it's also going to be Ripple. I chose Bahar because she was Big 12 preseason attackman of the year, and Ripple is no different. Big East preseason offensive player of the year as a whole, as well as being selected to the preseason All Big East team, because, of course, why wouldn't you? A little bit less about the current, and maybe I might dive into the past a little bit, between Denver and ASU's all-time series. Denver, unfortunately, ends up holding a shutout against Arizona State. 3-0, so not the best look if you are the Sun Devils. Looking to maybe tally a 1 into that loss column for the Pioneers. Most recently met last year. Denver ended up coming out with a win, 21-12, very high-scoring affair. We talked a lot about the attackman pregame for a reason. This is going to surely be a lights-out matchup on offense.
Yeah, and that going back to that the game last year, the 21-12 game, ASU again started out that game really strong, and then kind of collapsed, for lack of a better word, throughout the rest of it. As we see ASU breaking the huddle and taking the field, Denver still huddled up on their side. Far side left bench is Denver, far side right bench are the Sun Devils.
Immediately, like we talked about pregame, Viglione taking her spot on the right side of the Fork logo in the draw circle, chatting it up with sophomore midfielder Izzy Hammond before the game gets underway. Denver finally beginning to break the huddle.
Yeah, Viglione in the crease, like you mentioned, to the right of the pitchfork, as Denver breaking the huddle and entering the field.
It's going to be number 44, Alex Dorr, for the Pioneers, sophomore midfielder. Their draw specialist had 133 last season, 7 against USC in their season opener. So, very big matchup to watch here to start off the game.
Yeah, so Dorr versus Viglione in the circle. Ball between their sticks. As the draw's about to get underway for the Sun Devils home opener. As ball is up and won the way of Viglione as she carries it near side in to the ASU zone. Passes it around and settling up top, as carrying it across is Morris, as she'll pass it over. Now far side, right on the goal line, passed back up and swung around the horn here. As Sun Devils looking to get some offense early, is stepping inside up top and outside of the arc. Now swinging it all the way around to X. thought about dodging there, elected not to. Sun Devils just swinging it around, looking for some opportunity here. Something to set up as pass inside. Caught in a beautiful spin move for the sidearm low shot there. As the Sun Devils retain possession, but not for long, as Denver pressuring from X and forces a turnover.
I really like the Sun Devils' decision to put Bahar up at the X and keep Kendall Morris up just at the center, right above the arc. Morris is a very well-rounded midfielder who's going to be able to either get the ball out of her hands or make a play whenever you want. And then obviously my player of the game, Bahar, coming into the game for the Sun Devils at the X spot.
As Denver now has it in their own zone, as they'll carry it around to X with 68 on the shot clock here. So 90-second shot clock resets to 60 if it hits the goalie or the post. And, of course, if it goes in, it's a goal. The shot clock ticks under 60. Denver with it far side, driving inside now one-on-one. Earns top side, shot, good. Denver on the board first. And who else?
Adding to her already monstrous stat line for the season. Like we said, 5 goals in the season opener against USC. Also totaled at 76 points last season, making that now 6 goals for Ripple on the season, taking advantage of that matchup with sophomore goalkeeper for the Sun Devils, Reagan Spitziger.
Yeah, and not much she could do there from the goaltender position. I mean, Ripple just kind of swim move, dodge inside, and got right to that 8-meter, and not much that she could do with a sidearm rip that she put on corner of the net.
Something important to note, in that ASU-Oregon matchup, Oregon ended up pulling one of their goalkeepers about halfway through the game. ASU ended up keeping Speichiger in the game through the entire 64 minutes, allowed 12 goals against the Ducks.
As Dorr wins the draw, but then quickly turns it over. ASU with possession, gets it up top, as they'll set things up on their offensive side of the ball, looking to match the Denver offense. So they're swinging it around the horn. Denver heavily pressuring from X, as the Sun Devils struggling kind of with the passing it around the horn here. As goal line pass up top. Now stepping inside is Morris. She'll dish it out to Hammond. Hammond dishes it out now at X. 50 seconds on the shot clock, passes it up. Driving inside, Hammond, no one there, or nothing there, dishes it all the way around. Now another drive inside, bouncer right of the net for the Canada native. Sun Devils retain possession here from X, driving up top, looking for a cutter inside, pass dropped, ground ball on the inside, picked up by Denver and dropped off to the goalie.
I think Hammond was getting a few more looks than she had anticipated. Didn't end up taking any of those shots. But I think for the Sun Devils on their next offense possession, look to get a quick X to Hammond turnaround.
It's Thomas Mayer dishes it up top. Now right on Main Street is Denver, as they'll dish it around the horn, get the right personnel on the field. As no real attacking threat right now, as Denver just swinging it around up top. Now near side, pass dropped and picked up there, as they'll move cutters inside, driving inside near side, and dropped the ball. Picked up by the Sun Devils, looking to push in transition, as they'll get it right around the midline, pass it across. It's number 4, Park, dishing it up and pass too far in transition. Park trying to find her cutting teammate there right in front of the crease and unable to. And I have to think Park would have been better off just taking that to net.
I'd have to agree with you there.
Yeah, Park had a open lane down Main Street and elected not to take it. But Denver now easily able to break this ASU press and clear the ball into their zone, as Thomason Mayer dishes it to X with 63 on the shot clock. As they'll dodge from the goal line, coming up top, And spin move shot far side and in. And Denver showing why they're the 22 ranked team in the country.
Caroline Keel there with an absolute turnaround, had 2 goals against USC, and anytime you see an attackman averaging nearly an 80% shot on goal, that's something that you love to see from your attackman. Keel getting a lot of action against USC, getting in a lot of minutes, and quickly here able to make a turnaround. I did think that I saw Pioneers senior attackman Ryan Deneen making a lot of aggressive moves near the right side of the post, and then a quick turnaround to Keel from the left is able to once again abuse that matchup with Speichiger.
And a lot of these Denver goals coming unassisted, just the 2 early ones coming from dodges far side, starting at the goal line and working their way around the arc to a pretty good shot. So get a draw violation and go the way of the Sun Devils as Viglione brings it up, looking for someone to pass to, and does, as the Sun Devils will get her, the draw specialist, off the field and set up their offense, and already in a 2-goal deficit, trying to change that.
Yeah, and I mean, the biggest thing about the Sun Devil team is their ability to start hot, and then we talked pregame about their slow finishes, but not a position that you want to be in if you're the Sun Devils getting off to a slow start, because all season, I mean, obviously it's only been 1 game, but it was the epitome of a slow finish. So Sun Devils looking to pick it up here.
As they have it from X, pushing it up to the goal line now. Pass inside, spin move, turnaround shot blocked. And a great shot by Oldno, but a great save from Denver. So ball will trickle out of the back here as the officials coming to talk things over. Shot clock at 60 as the officials talking near side right by us, just in between the 8 and 12 meter.
Yeah, this Pioneers goalie, Lexi Guaku, is going to be a name to watch. Only a sophomore, and just too many accolades for her name and for her age. Coming in, obviously, preseason All-Big East team. Went to high school in New Jersey, won New Jersey Goalie of the Year in her senior year of high school. Made an immediate impact last year in her freshman year, splitting reps. Now coming in as the bona fide starter for the Pioneers.
As ASU almost turning it over on that near side and able to recover as the pass inside deflected and picked up by Denver as they're looking to push in transition. As first green card of the game will come out, and that will go against number 23, Blair Butcher, for the Sun Devils here. So Sun Devils already in a 2-goal deficit, and Denver with a very advantageous chance to make that more.
Wilmot squaring up now, getting this new possession underway for the Pioneers, already back in their own attack zone. Fresh shot clock here, 82 and ticking, as the ball is just getting back around to X, back around to that left side where the Denver offense has been strong so far all game.
Yeah, so the ASU defense collapsed in farther as Bucher will sit with one knee in the box for the Sun Devils. As Denver now swinging things around, really just looking to set things up as they're have the advantage. As up top now, cross-field pass, nothing there as they'll swing it back around to X and get it back up top. Pass dropped there as ground ball makes its way past the line, and Denver able to come up with the ground ball, and that's going to be a key throughout the rest of the game. Is if Denver keeps coming up with these ground balls, it's going to be a long night for the Sun Devils.
Yeah, I mean, both teams coming up with some pretty uncharacteristic turnovers here in the first period, especially one from freshman midfielder Caroline Much, who is sat at the top of the circle there for the Pioneers. 2-time USA All-American, had 1 goal, 1 assist against USC just a few days ago, looking to make an impact here against the Sun Devils.
Sun Devils able to kill the penalty, but Ripple just driving in from the top sends a screamer to the top bar. Makes it 3-0 in favor of Denver.
Outstanding start from Ripple so far, just like we expected.
So 7:22, Denver makes it 3-0 with 2 goals from Ripple early on in this one. Again, the 5'7" California native. So we'll get a timeout here, and I mean, couldn't have a better time to use it, as already down 3.
Not the start. We'll say it over and over, just not the start you want if you're the Sun Devils. And there's something just poetic about this Denver offense. I mean, and all the credit goes to Pioneers head coach Liza Kelly, who is now in her 20th season with the Pioneers. Take a guess what Coach Kelly's all-time record is. Or we'll go with winning percentage.
90?
Okay, we were reaching a little too far for the Stars there. 73.4, but granted, she has gone through almost 450 career games. Sorry, she's gone for over her tally at 451 all-time games with a 331 and 120 record. All-time as a coach, 267 and 87 for the Pioneers. That ups it to a 75% win percentage.
Yeah, and that's just borderline insane. It not just the dominance from this perennial Denver program in men's and women's lacrosse, just evident here early on.
You see them up near the top of the rankings just every year, and the same testament goes for the women's lacrosse team. Coach Kelly just commanded the Pioneers last season to their 5th straight Big East title. They went 14 and 6 last season. Didn't look like they were going to be able to knock off some of those top dogs like Georgetown, but they go into the Big 12, the Big East tournament, knock off everybody in their path, make their 7th straight NCAA tournament appearance. Unfortunately, get knocked out by Stanford in the first round, but just great start for Denver in the revival season. A 15-4 win against USC, and now coming in up 3 just halfway through the first period here against the Sun Devils.
Yeah, and for the Sun Devils here, if you want to make the tournament, these are games you need to win. And you have 2, I mean, obviously, a little too early predictions here, as we're only 2nd game into the season for both teams. But for the Sun Devils, still looking to get their ranked win since their inaugural season in 2018. As we're set from inside the circle, ball tipped up on the floor, still on the floor to the right of the pitchfork, and the Sun Devils finally able to come up with the ground ball.
Sun Devils winning those initial draws, something that you would love to see more if they were able to just capitalize on those 1 draws on offense.
As Hammond dishes it off to Oldno and swung around. Now far side goal line, swung back up top. Now right on Main Street is Morris, as she'll swing it around. 65 on the shot clock. Sun Devils with a cutter inside, but nothing there as they have it up top. Now driving inside, pressured heavily by this Denver team, and pressured a little too heavily, as I think it's a yellow card being shown to the Denver defender as she got up into the face of the driving ASU player.
Yeah, she was driving really hard on senior attackman Tegan Ing, one of the strongest attackmen here for the Sun Devils, obviously named to 2025 All Big 12 after a 70-goal season. I believe that was 10th in the country, and obviously named to the preseason All Big 12 team for her performance last year, coming into her senior season, looking to make the biggest impact of her career so far. Had 3 goals against Oregon, and has unfortunately come up empty here when the Sun Devils need her most.
So man up opportunity here for the Sun Devils, as that foul was just beyond the 12 meter, so we'll need to set up an offense. So they'll swing it around, has it cross X pass, now back up top. Morris swings it over as pass inside and unable to catch that, and just kind of another sloppy turnover here as that will go out of the back, or out of bounds far side.
I said it once, I'll say it again. I'm really looking for Jordan Bahar and Izzy Hammond to work some more action on that left side of the circle. It doesn't look like they're getting nearly as much attention as Ing is on the right side of the circle, and that's where most of their turnovers have been forced.
And now Denver just able to run out this man-up opportunity that the Sun Devils had, as they'll have it and just hold on to it in their own near side corner. 68 on the shot clock, but yeah, they'll content to just run out this penalty here, and a squandered opportunity for the Sun Devils.
And who else do you want to hold down at that right side while the penalty clock continues to tick, rather than Ava Thompson-Marr? Last season had the best on her team with a .579 shot percentage.
As the Sun Devils doubling the ball here, as they do have a extra woman on the field, but I mean, not much that they can do with this Denver team just content to pass it around as they show some dodges inside, but nothing really too serious as ball is right by the restraining line up top far side and carrying it across, passing it over as looking for the pass inside, dropped ball on the floor right about the 6-meter front of the crease as both teams fighting for it, and ASU able to come out with the ground ball but then quickly poked away by Denver, and Denver able to corral it again as they'll pass it back right to midfield and then dump it right into the past the restraining line.
Yeah, Denver's going to look for a reset here as the shot clock resets. There was a beautiful look by senior attackman Ryan Deneen for the Pioneers. Got a nice pass around a number 4 for the Pioneers, but couldn't capitalize, couldn't quite catch the ball in what would have been, looked like a sure goal there for the Pioneers.
Is now driving inside, and under a hand shot goes wide. It will remain Denver ball as they'll drive from X, looking for cutters, no one there, dishes it back up top. Now driving inside again, one-on-one. ASU with some help defense and way too aggressive there.
Definitely. That was Caroline Bowers there who got knocked over. Gonna get a quick reset here.
I think we'll get a pushing call there as from the 8-meter, Denver having a chance here. Shot right side post and in. Denver makes it 4-0 with 3:35 left in the first. And again, Denver showing why they're number 22 in the country.
Yeah, Bowers able to get that free shot opportunity. I know the Pioneers have a lot of talented attackmen, but you wouldn't really want many other people ahead of Bowers to take that free shot. Had a .829 shot on goal percentage last season. Had 4 total points against USC. Very, very strong attack showing here from the Pioneers, staying super aggressive. The clock's still ticking down here in this first period. Like you said, Denver up 4, shutting out the Sun Devils in the first period.
Yeah, new rule this year in NCAA women's lacrosse. After they're done with the stick check after the goal, teams have 30 seconds to get set. Teams kind of concerned about that to start the year. The rule was designed to speed up the game, but as we've seen here, it's not really too big of a deal, playing too much of an impact. As both draw specialists in the circle, ball is placed, ball is up, flung the way of Denver. We'll get a procedure, go the way of the Sun Devils. Viglione quickly picks it up, driving inside now, far side pulls it out. As she'll pass it up top by the restricted area to Morris. Morris swings it over. Hammond swings it over again near side. As Oldno carries it to X. Back up top as crossfield pass. Nothing there as the Sun Devils will reset near side. Driving in and pulling it right back out was Hammond. She'll swing it back all the way around the arc. As from the goal line, Sun Devils driving in and an underhand shot and a beautiful save by Denver as the rebound was picked up by number 40, Grover. And the Sun Devils with another penalty, just sloppy play.
Yeah, definitely. And, I mean, on that scoring attempt there, Tegan Ng had a nice little turnaround, low shot to the left side of the net. And Guaku, like you said, outstanding save there to keep the scoreboard empty for Arizona State.
Yeah, and Jordan Biar, the New York native, 4 points on the year coming into this one. Picks up just a sloppy penalty for 2 minutes as there's 2:46 left in the game. So Denver, barring a score, will have a man advantage for all but 30 seconds in the first quarter here as they swing it up around from X now, back up top as looking to set up the man-up offense here as crossfield pass dropped. So that ball will head all the way to the far corner pylon, and the Sun Devils get a much-needed break with 2:11 left in the first.
Definitely the second overshoot by Carly Mutz for the Pioneers this period, something that the Sun Devils are going to want to take advantage of and definitely need to. We talked about their advantage here, winning the draws over and over and over. And the amount of turnovers that you're getting here, as the Pioneers, of course, capitalize with a turnover of their own.
And that's just not one if you're the Sun Devils you can give up at all with 1:50 left in the first. Man down, you have the ball. You ideally want to get it past the restricted line and run some clock, but unable to. The Sun Devils with another green card and will send another player to the bench. So 2-man advantage for Denver right now.
Not what you want to see at all. That's going to be Cage going into the box as well for the Sun Devils.
And just some sloppy early play from the Sun Devils, and just
seems like maybe they're bringing in a little bit of that game-finishing Oregon style into this one, which is not what you want if you are Sun Devils head coach Taryn Vantoff Pulse.
There's a little confusion there. There's another new rule for this year, green cards applying to the whole field, as ASU needed sending someone back to the attack, as Denver now trying to attack on this really collapsed ASU defense, as really none of them leaving the 8-meter arc, as Denver really just trying to dodge here as they get a pass inside. Shot trickles its way through the legs. And Ryan Deaton, the Maryland native, on the board again.
Yeah, talked earlier on that last possession about how she got a good look, tried to get a swing around pass in. This time she just takes it herself, buries that one into that bottom left corner of the net. Spysugar getting abused there for the Sun Devils. It is now 5-0 Pioneers.
That was one Spysugar, in my eyes, I mean, obviously very easy to say from up here, but 5-hole, she looked to have it covered and then just trickled through. It was like a hockey goalie when it gets stuck between the pads and then trickles through there.
Just slide. It's always the most painful ones that just slide through. You can practically see it moving in slow motion past you. That one a little bit more aggressive, but Helen Park for the Sun Devils offering some words of encouragement to her sophomore goalkeeper as ASU looks to take advantage of another draw here, hopefully coming out with the win if you're Viglione.
As already a 5-goal lead for the number 22 team in the country. So they have a little road stretch of their own, avoiding the cold of Denver. It's a little coming from sunny LA to sunny Tempe, in the draw won by Denver with 1:17 left in the first quarter. As Denver really having no problems in the middle of the field getting clearances through. Kind of the opposite of ASU is Denver, I don't think, has turned the ball over once in the middle of the field.
Denver putting a lot of pressure on the Sun Devils even when they're making their transitions. However, Arizona State not being aggressive at all. Denver, after winning the draw, able to send that ball back near their goalkeeper and set up a whole new formation on offense.
As driving in, shot, top corner and in, and again, Ryan Deaton just making her presence felt. 6-0 with 44.2 left in the first, and the Sun Devils have just collapsed.
Already 2 goals here in the first period for Deneen. Had 3 in that game against USC throughout the whole game, almost close to matching her season total just through 1 period. And very, very impressive offense here by the Pioneers. Sun Devils now coming, I mean, first period is still only a little over halfway through, and they already have a big hole to climb out of.
Oh, yeah, and Ryan Deneen just, again, Denver loving the dodges from the goal line and just taking it and one-on-one with her defender, gets top side and flings it to that top left corner. Something Denver has loved so far. As I mentioned it before, teams have 30 seconds to get set, and that wasn't an issue. ASU just committed their first one of the season, didn't get set 30 seconds after the stick was checked, so awarding Denver a free possession here. It was a new rule this year, mentioned it before, but again, just sloppy play from the Sun Devils. It's the little things that they're giving up. With 40 seconds left in the first, Denver with a chance to make it 7-0.
Yeah, something you're going to want to keep your eye on here as Denver is up 6-0 is that the Sun Devils have already made a transition in at goalkeeper. Spysugar is out, and in comes Gabriella Henry for the Sun Devils, the freshman from Alpharetta, Georgia.
Yeah, the freshman, I mean, you want more minutes, here's your chance.
Hopefully not a feel that the Sun Devils feel this game is already lost. Perhaps, hopefully the feel of it just
switching things up, trying to get reinvigorated.
Yeah, change of scenery here. Fresh start. Come into the second period like it's a 0-0 game. New goalkeeper in, new feel.
As Denver will hold it out, and that will do it for the first period. Denver coming into Tempe and dominating the first 6-0. And I think something to look at for Denver, 6 shots on goal, 6 goals. So I think that's more so the reason for the goalie change for the Sun Devils.
Most definitely. And, I mean, as you're watching the game, it seems like Denver is not only so much more efficient on offense, but taking more shots. But the Sun Devils do also have 4 shots on goal. So not a big difference in the amount of offense that's going on, but just the efficiency from the Pioneers there. It seems like Coach Kelly for Denver really drew up a great game plan to drive inside the arc and make whatever happened successful.
Yeah, and Denver Stars, talked about them before, shining bright early in this one, as both the players we talked about before on the board early. But again, I think some other stats to look at. ASU 5 draw controls to Denver's 1, so ASU dominating the draw circle, but not the scoreboard.
I mean, that's what you would expect and hope for someone like Anna Viglione, the junior, had 215 draw controls, like I mentioned earlier in the broadcast. Came up with 11 last week, now leading the Sun Devils in the circle. And unfortunately, just the Sun Devils unable to capitalize. From their end, Coach Pulse here looking to draw up a new offensive game plan, maybe drive them inside the arc more, although Denver is playing a very, very tightly knit defense there, not allowing anything to get through. Ing taking majority of those shots from the right circle. Perhaps Coach Pulse for the Sun Devils looks to spread the offense around, maybe get some more rallies, drive X up.
As I mentioned this before, but Denver with 6 goals, only 1 of them being assisted. So Denver not assisting too many goals. It's really just been these one-on-one opportunities that Denver has taken and beaten the Sun Devil defender in front of them.
Very strong game plan, definitely shown there for the Pioneers when you can just take advantage of that opportunity. The split second you see it, and I mean, it's not like the Denver Pioneers are in any shortness of comfortability here, already up 6 as the first period intermission comes to an end. We are about to enter the second, and
Denver going to start with possession as they held it out at the end of the first as the air horn blew. I didn't realize I thought the scoreboard would just beep, not they bring out the air horn, and anyone that's played any lacrosse tournaments throughout the years are very familiar with the air horn sound there. As Denver starting things out as clock resets to 15 and ticking down, Denver looking to make it 7-0 early on as they have it at X. Now driving up top and dishing it back as they'll swing things around. 30 left on the shot clock as that carries over from the first quarter here. As Denver now
Ripple with the ball.
A little bit of a rush as Ripple doubled quickly by 2 Sun Devil defenders and pushed out. Some great defense there from the Sun Devils early on in the second as Denver looking to get something set up. 13-12, 11-10 on the shot clock as they have it near side X. Driving up top, looking to get something set up. Gets top side, shoots it, bouncer goes in. And again, the Lake Forest native putting her name on the stat sheet.
Caroline Keel with 2 on the day. It seems like many repeated offenders here for the Pioneers, giving the ball to the best players, and they're always able to make something happen here. Now a 7-point lead, continuing the shutout here for the Pioneers.
As just another unassisted goal there for Denver and Kiel, as Sun Devils will use the 30 seconds here to huddle up before getting set up here. But the Sun Devils, great defense there on Ripple. They got the double in. They pushed her out. They made her reset. They swung it around all the way around to the far side. Then near side was Kiel. And Kiel just beats her defender one-on-one from X and gets top side and bounces it in. It's again 7 shots on goal, 7 goals for Denver. As draws up near side, bouncing. Sun Devils able to corral it, as they'll dish it back to the defense, as trying to push it up, cross field, lob pass caught, so they'll bring it past and get it in their own zone.
Continuing to see the same offensive scheme, game plan, and placements here for the Sun Devils.
Yeah, as the Sun Devils really just need to get something on offense here as they have the ball at X right now. Far side, up top now, right in the middle. Near side, swinging it around, driving inside, pulls it back out, looking for a relief valve and finds it. Swung all the way around, far side, driving inside now. As the shot falls, Arizona State gets on the board with Claire Bucher.
Any sign of life is a good sign of life here if you're Arizona State. Finally getting on the board just a little bit through the second period.
Yeah.
Coach pulls for the Sun Devils, hoping that that's a momentum starter.
Yeah, Claire Butcher, Maryland native, the midfield senior, able to get on the board and make it 7-1. With
Sun Devils finally able to capitalize off of a one draw there. They win the draw, continue that possession nearly the full way through, make something out of something.
Yeah, the Sun Devils not great at forcing turnovers, but they're good at winning the draw and need to start capitalizing off that to get back in this one down 6. But we saw Oregon come back against the Sun Devils down a pretty hefty amount in their last game. So Sun Devils looking to do that as, well, commentators jinx as Denver wins the draw. As right in the midfield, bringing it up is Ripple. She just gliding her way through Sun Devil defenders and gets it past the restraining line into the zone as she'll hold things up. Olivia Ripple now dishes it far side as Denver getting the right personnel on the field. Swung all the way around near side X. Now back up top. And
if my eyes aren't deceiving me, I believe now Denver playing pretty comfortable with 2 behind the net at all times, switching between having Keel back there with Thompson Marr.
As driving inside shot missed wide. It's the first time we've seen a shot miss wide there, and that was number 24, Thompson Mayer.
Deneen playing very aggressive, causing the turnover there. Sun Devils get the ball driving past midfield. Another turnover for Denver. Caroline Keel forcing the turnover. Denver already pushing back inside the circle.
Yeah, as Denver will hold things up far side right by the restraining line, and really no rush as they've dominated against the Sun Devils in the between the restraining lines in the middle of the field. As driving again is Denver. Nothing there. Sun Devils defense collapsing as the ball trickles all the way out to the restraining line, and fighting for the ground ball. Denver able to recover and finds its way all the way up top as another drive inside far side shot saved by the freshman. Rebound in the crease, and she's able to corral it.
Good save by Henry there. The Pioneers were a little bit thrown off. Caroline Keel having a bit of ball control issues here in the second period.
As Henry making the first save of this game for the Sun Devils, as Cleveland, the Jacksonville, Florida native, able to just outrun the Denver press. As Sun Devils now swinging it around the 12-meter. They'll step inside right up top, pull it out right on the goal line. Now back up top, swung far side. Sun Devils just dipping their toe in the 12-meter, then pulling it right back out. As looking to get a cutter inside, no one there. As Sun Devils with 36 on the shot clock get it up top. Quick shot, trickles, and saved. Good shot there, good look for the Sun Devils. Of course, nothing to show for it on the scoreboard, but going to need a lot more of that to come back in this one.
Another great save and just great time for Guaku. Able to just anticipate, be super, super patient. Very long possession there for the Sun Devils, driving back and forth all around the net. Finally, Morris for the Sun Devils takes that shot. Guaku looked like the ball got on the floor, kept her composure, picked it right up, tossed it out. New possession here for the Pioneers.
Again, the Pioneers on offense just look calm, controlled, collected. I mean, been here, done that mindset versus, on the contrary, the Sun Devils struggling as they'll set up their offense now, driving inside. Good defense from the Sun Devils initially to stop the first drive. The second one comes up, and we'll get a whistle. Looks to be against the Sun Devils. Check to the head was the call. As we'll see if it's from the 12 or 8 here. As Denver, 8-meter free shot of their own here from the near side. From another sloppy ASU penalty, and driving inside shot too high, corralled at X by the Sun Devils, and a break for the Sun Devils there. It's not often you see Deaton missing those as Sun Devils bringing it up with Cage. Cage just running by the Denver midfield there and able to get it in their zone. Sun Devils now looking to push in transition and pulling it right back out far side. Now swinging around, has it at X, back up top far side at goal line. Crossfield pass to midfield, nothing there. She'll swing it around. Now get it right back, driving inside. It's Morris. Morris swings it off. Sun Devils with the cutter from X, and another extra pass shot too high there. But again, nice offensive possession as the Sun Devils retain it. With a 37 on the shot clock here.
Key here for the Sun Devils is retention. Don't turn the ball over on your shot on goal attempts. Unfortunately there for Arizona State, looked like Addie Shevitz had a great angle. Teammates saw it, just unable to get it in.
As Sun Devils looking to set up more of that as a quick shot and goes in. Sun Devils cut the lead down to 5.
That time Shevitz on the right side of the net gets the look, makes the pass to a teammate, and that's 2 in a row here for Arizona State.
Man, Shevitz paid the price for that, getting laid out after the pass. We heard the whistle blow for that, just getting cross-checked to the ground. But nevertheless, Sun Devils happy with the result.
And of course, rhetorically, when Gabriella Henry entered the net for the Sun Devils, I was saying hopefully that was just a new mindset here for the Sun Devils. And when you see Shevitz lay her body out on the line just to get a nice-looking pass there, Sun Devils make it 2 in a row. Great tempo that you want to see here for Arizona State. Never letting down, even though you are now down 5. At the time, down 6.
So ASU winning the second quarter so far, as just a tick under 8. So we'll get a turnover and we'll go the way of Denver off the draw.
Denver picking up these draws here in the second period. Looks like they're winning just about equally now, or maybe even more than the Sun Devils.
Yeah, and a lot of them coming off penalties, and it's just, if you're Viglione, you can't give those up.
You've been saying it since the beginning of the game. It looks like Arizona State playing just a little bit too sloppy here to compete with the Pioneers.
As the Pioneers driving from X all the way right in front of the net, but the defender in front of her. Good defense there by the Sun Devils, as Denver will re-up from the top, swing it over near side to GLE. Now back up top, driving inside, trying to earn top side, nothing there. Swing it far side. As driving inside now, earning top side, but the help defense comes in time. Ball on the ground and scooped up by the Sun Devils. Great defense here as the pressure in transition by this Denver attack on the clear forces a whistle and a turnover with 6:40 left in the second.
Sophomore defender there for the Sun Devils, Caroline Little, unable to hold on to that one.
And again, just the sloppy mistakes from the Sun Devils are really what's costing them this game. And of course, Denver, I think, has played well, but the Sun Devils just shooting themselves in the foot repeatedly.
Yeah, it seems like when the Sun Devils are on offense, their offensive tempo obviously needs to be increased here, down 5, and they're making the most out of their possessions in the zone. But Denver continuing to, once they make it into the zone, they make the most out of their time, and then they cause a costly turnover there and just continue their offensive possession.
As Denver had every single player above the 12-meter besides one with the ball, and that was Ripple. So they tried to get her a one-on-one opportunity, defended well from the Sun Devils. That's the first time we've seen that play from the Pioneers, and Sun Devils able to defend it nicely, is now driving inside, almost stepped in the crease, and we're going to get a check to the head call here against the Sun Devils, and another sloppy mistake here, just giving up the 8-meter shot again. That will be Keel, who's been hot today.
Already 2 goals on the day. Arizona State obviously playing some harder press defense on her to avoid looking as she gets a hat-trick opportunity here on the free shot.
As she'll shoot it, and it will go wide and trickle all the way to the near side pylon. Will stay with Denver as a good chase out by Bowers there. As she'll quickly bring it in play, swing it back up top. 5:05 left in the half. Denver 7, ASU 2. much to the chagrin of the ASU fans here, but to the pleasure of the Denver fans who have made the trip down. Now driving inside, pressured heavily by the Sun Devils, and another penalty, or free shot, it looks like, coming.
If you're Arizona State here, I understand that you are down 5 and you need to play aggressive defense, but the amount of costly penalties and costly turnovers that are being caused by that aggressiveness is not a good cost-benefit analysis.
430, 8-meter, beautiful save there from Henry. Brings the stick to her left side, right next to her helmet, and makes the save. Rebound controlled by Denver, but the freshman goaltender able to make a save from the 8-meter shot.
This is now 3 full possessions in a row that Denver has spent here on offense. Not what you want to see if you're Arizona State. It's still down 5.
40 seconds on the shot clock. Denver driving in, swim dodge, gets it, and the shot goes in far side. For ASU, you just cannot spend that much time on the defensive side of the net.
Yeah, that was Ava Thompson-Marr there for the Pioneers, getting her goal, playing a very big role on offense, not getting a lot of looks, but taking advantage of when the Sun Devils press up onto her. In the second period, she's been mainly swifted back out to X. I know the Pioneers have had 2 in X for a majority of the second period, but Thompson-Marr finally gets the look that she wanted, took her shot, makes it a 6-point lead for the Pioneers. 1 shot, 1 goal for the sophomore.
Yeah, Eva Thompson-Marr, the Portland, Oregon native. So game growing across the U.S. as we see her playing at the highest level collegiately and succeeding. All set in the draw circle.
That now makes 3 Pioneers with 2 goals. You have Deneen, Ripple, and Keel.
As Viglione wins the faceoff for the Sun Devils and gets it in the zone, and she's looking to push in transition. And Denver defense collapsing in. Sun Devils get it back up top, and Viglione will head off and get a sub on. Sun Devils now looking to respond. 8-2, 3:30 left in the half. So they'll swing it around now, far side. Pass down to X, still on that far side now, carrying it. Near side, pass inside, underhand shot doesn't go. The pass from X into a crowd of people.
Great save there by Guaku for the Pioneers. As Arizona State forces a turnover just by the left sideline. Tegan Ing now with the ball, driving up by midfield.
Yeah, so Ing forcing a turnover, and that's the first one we've seen between the restraining lines in the midfield. ASU forcing a turnover on the clear, now looking to push in transition, and oh, a pass dropped there.
That's Lydia Oldno there on the dropped pass from Ing to Oldno, Arizona State's 2 best attackmen.
And Oldno cutting to the crease there, dropped the pass right at the far side, 8-meter, about 2 feet away from the center line, and
looked like a one-on-one opportunity there from Oldno, unable to capitalize.
If she catches that ball as a one-on-one with the goalie and unable to, as Denver with some struggles clearing it here and do get it in with 61 on the shot clock now, pushing in transition. Shot saved by Henry. The freshman coming into this one and leaving her mark on the game, as ASU now looking to push in transition of their own. Lowry dishes it over far side, and inside the 8-meter, nothing there, loses it and brings it out, and ASU will reset up top.
Alyssa Nichols here for the Sun Devils coming into this game. The big resetter, the big tempo setter, coming in at the top of the circle. We have Shevitz set far right, Oldno set far left. Bahar still placed in the X for the Sun Devils.
Nichols normally around 24 to 12 meters outside the crease, and kind of just the anchor of this Sun Devil offense as they'll swing it around and looking for something cross field. Pass, shot, saved again. Wow.
Very hard aggressive shot there.
And again, another good look as 1:15 left in the half. Second quarter has gone by extremely fast. As Denver now looking to clear, had some struggles as of late, and able to there as the pass Keel brings it into their zone. 52 on the clock, 59 on the shot clock. Keel brings it to X and swings it around. Now near side, driving in, cuts inside. Sun Devil defense collapsing, and we'll get a, looks like crease violation there, and a turnover will go the way of the Sun Devils with 30 seconds and ticking left. 27-26. Sun Devils shot clock doesn't really matter at 87 here, but Goodnia generates something as Sun Devils lose it in transition, and they're going to call Park for putting her stick over the ball and covering it.
I was just about to say, if you're the Sun Devils, you do not want a turnover with 6 left on the clock.
As 5-4, Denver trying to get a shot off, underhand shot, no looker, won't go. As the clock with .1 remaining, the Sun Devils give up another 8-meter shot. And that's just something, again, just the sloppy play from the Sun Devils. It's something you cannot give up.
Even though it's a 6-point game, that is going to end up being a storyline of the game once it's all said and done, just the discipline and the amount of aggressiveness from the Sun Devils.
As all 3 officials huddling right in the center, right on the 12-meter, talking about things. Game clock's at .1. That penalty looked to happen around 1 or 2 seconds left, as the 3 officials convening right before half. But other than that, Denver 8, Arizona State 2.
And for Denver to be up by 6 goals, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense that the Sun Devils have taken 10 shots, just unable to get good looks, unable to get good shots.
As one official running over to the scores table here and relaying some information. It appears we'll have an 8-meter shot, but the 2 officials explaining it to the players, the other official explaining it to the 2 coaches on the sideline. No officials PA mic here, so. And it will look, yes, it will look to be an 8-meter shot. So near side. Keel will wind up and wait for the whistle. Whistle blows, she shoots it and careens off the left pipe, right pipe, and I think that hit the crossbar too and goes in. What a rip.
Looked like that ball just fell off the net of Henry after bouncing off the crossbar. Henry looked a little bit confused, put her arms up. Denver players looked like they'd even put their arms up, some of them sitting around the right side of the arc. The half ends 9-2, Denver.
That was a beautiful rip there. I mean, not much you could ask Henry to do there, but 9-2 heading into half, not an insurmountable deficit if you're the Sun Devils, but definitely not what you want to have.
Not in the slightest. Coming in against a ranked Denver team, the memo of the game was start strong. Don't show them that they are able to push you around, and that is so far what Denver has been doing. The Sun Devils dominating in some aspects of the game. Obviously, the draw control from Viglione. Sun Devils currently up in the draw control statistic with 7 compared to the Pioneers 3. But just when the Pioneers get the ball, they capitalize and they will take advantage of every single offensive possession they get. Meanwhile, the same cannot be said for the Sun Devils.
9 goals, 1 assist. So only 1 assisted goal coming for Denver, and that's how they did it against USC, and that's how they continue to do it here as ASU will head to the locker room. Denver staying out on their bench on the left side here in the shade, as Sparky in the center of the field holding competition, but Sun Devils down 9-2 against Denver. We'll catch you on the other end of the half here, about 9 minutes away.
faith meets self-discovery.
And culture collides with the modern world.
We've had real conversations with people like you,
exploring religion, identity, and the search for meaning.
Don't miss it. Be a part of the conversation.
Be a little unorthodox, every Sunday at 11 a.m.
With Emily and Abe.
Hi, I'm Landon.
And I'm Bella.
And welcome to Album Splain.
Every week we'll be dissecting and discussing one of our favorite albums.
From No Doubt to Claro, tune in to hear us chat about our favorite thing, music. Tune in on Thursdays at 11 a.m. on Blaze Radio Online.
Or listen on your favorite podcast streaming service.
See you soon.
See ya!
Sitting in traffic, bored of listening to the same artist on repeat? Tune in to Alternative Route instead, the music show on Blaze Radio that talks about a Latin artist or band every week that is making music in the indie and or alternative rock genres. Join DJ Mavette for the second season of Alternative Route as she breaks down these artists' innovations and analyzes their songs in order to understand their craft better. Take the Alternative Route every Tuesday from 3 to 3:30 p.m. live on Blaze Radio and blazeradioonline.com.
Hello, friends. Is golf your groove? Then boy, do we have a show for you. Join Peter Bishop, Ian Lonergan, and Owen Castle every Sunday from 1 to 2 p.m. on blazeradioonline.com for your latest golf news.
Welcome back to beautiful Tempe, Arizona, to the Sun Devil Lacrosse Soccer Hybrid Stadium on the Blaze Sports YouTube page. I'm Ian King, joined alongside Pierce Gordon for the second half of some women's lacrosse action here. The Denver Pioneers up 9-2 on the Arizona State Sun Devils. And Pierce, during the break, just looking at the stat sheet here from this first half of the game, a lot of sloppy plays, sloppy penalties that have proved costly for the Sun Devils. And the Pioneers able to just capitalize time and time again from turnovers and from those penalties. I believe they are perfect on the 8-meter free shots so far, and they just look so much more well knit on offense.
Yeah, and we've also talked about the sloppy play of the Sun Devils, just shooting themselves in the foot. Of course, you can't make these mistakes. You're playing the number 22 ranked team in the country at home. Opening day, opening home game, you can't be making these mistakes.
I didn't watch the game personally, but that game against Oregon for the Sun Devils, we talked about that second half collapse earlier in the broadcast, and it looked like they started off that game similar. Just a very unfortunate first quarter for the Sun Devils, allowing 6 goals by the Pioneers. Sun Devils didn't score once. And then in the second period, I guess a little bit halfway through the first period, we saw the Sun Devils make a goalie change in favor of freshman Gabriella Henley, which has proved to work. Sophomore goalie who started off the game, Spysiger, had 4 goals allowed, didn't make a single save before getting pulled. And now Henry has allowed 5 goals, but has also made 4 saves in the process. So 2 steps forward, 3 steps back for the Sun Devils.
In Henry's defense, a few of those shots that were 8-meter free shots that were, bar down, pipe, not much you could ask the freshman goaltender from Georgia to do.
Yeah, of course. And Caroline Keel for the Pioneers coming into the second half already with a hat trick. Olivia Ripple and Ryan Deneen for the Pioneers just 1 goal away from meeting that mark as well. As we have Viglione and Dorr in the circle once again, getting ready to set off with the draw, or that might not be Dorr in the circle.
Yeah, I think another thing to look at, 6-0, that's a goal difference in the first quarter. 3-2, the goal difference in the second quarter. So ASU can hang with Denver. They just can't be making the mistakes they made in the first quarter.
And I'm honestly surprised. It seems like we saw a lot more costly, sloppy penalties in the second quarter. But like you said, ASU able to hang, go down by 1 goal just in the second. But that 6-goal deficit from the first period is going to be a big hole to climb out of as Viglione wins the draw. Viglione pushing up. One of the furthest positions that she's been in all day, just by the right side of that arc. Sun Devil 19, Kendall Morris drops as that goes out of bounds for the Sun Devils.
Yeah, Viglione and Morris. Viglione, that pass could have been caught by Morris near side, but would have been a hell of a catch. And just, again, we've talked about the sloppiness. You've made that pass thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of times in practice throughout your whole life playing lacrosse, and to mess it up there and cause a turnover early on in the third.
Not what you want to see at all. So now Denver, once again, in their offensive positions. Thompson-Marr set in the X. Deneen transitioning to the right, gets the ball just outside the arc. Tapped out back once again to the far side. Driving in is Denver. Pass back out to Much. Denver driving in through the right side of the circle, makes a move, and the ball comes out of the stick of Thompson-Marr as she recovers back out to the X. Denver retains possession, shot clock at 39 and counting. Denver making a bit of moves in and outside the arc. Keel now out to Bowers. Driving in once again, makes a move to the left. Shot through, and it is good. Bowers adds to her night as the Pioneers take a 10-2 commanding lead to start off the third period.
Yeah, and Bowers puts the ASU defender Cage on skates there. She fakes outside, Cage bites on the outside and flips her hips, and it's just a little freshman inexperience there.
And I mean, it's been a memo all game. Denver now at 10 goals, only one of those goals being assisted. You said it over and over in the first half, and it just, once Arizona State gets that first look, they need to change their defensive mindset to get on that first look and never back down. They're trying to play what seems a little bit too much of a spread, but you know that Denver's offensive aggressiveness is going to allow them to drive, and especially the fact that ASU hasn't bit on it all morning.
Especially just beyond the sloppiness, the ASU defense really needs to tighten up. These are all one-on-one opportunities, dodges from around the 12-meter all around the field, and you're just getting beat one-on-one, and the help slide is way too late.
I couldn't agree. Bowers gets her second of the day as the Sun Devils now on offense for the first time in the period. Oldno currently with the ball into the left side of the arc, back out to Bahar, who has had a quiet day, given her accolades and her stats from not only the game against Oregon, but from last season. Bahar back out to the second X to the right side of the circle. Ing with the ball. We are going to get a whistle here.
And ASU earning looks to be an 8-meter free shot. Yeah, it will. So ASU with a prime chance to even up the scoring column in the third.
And this is going to be Ing here who gets the opportunity.
Need to capitalize here.
Ing on Guaku, ready to take the free shot. Ing drives up and lays it in.
What a play by Ing there. Not super confident in her just rip it from the 8-meter. We'll see that a lot from, of course, a lot of the greats of this sport, the Charlotte Norths of the world. But Ing there just driving inside all the way to the mouth of the crease there, and while obviously falling down, getting pushed from all angles, gets the shot to fall.
Maybe now ASU knows how it feels to get an 8-meter shot, and they've allowed multiple from the Pioneers with their sloppy defense. So hopefully a bit of a wake-up call there for Coach Poles and the Sun Devils to play a little bit more lightly on defense, of course, put some pressure on, but it's just been the memo of too much over and over again in this game.
Yeah, I mean, the ASU offense has woken up. They had a drought in the first, but they've woken up since then. It's really on the ASU defense to hold this very prolific Denver team.
Viglione wins the draw once again. The period begins with an exchange of goals between the Pioneers and the Sun Devils. Ball now out to Cage for the Sun Devils running around the left side.
I feel like we've said Viglione win the draw almost every time here.
Viglione has won just about 2/3 of the draws, if not more, but just unable to capitalize on offense. Viglione running full circles around the draw circle. Ball out to Ing once again. Passed out to Morris. Back out to Oldno, back out to Bahar. Morris at the top of the circle looking for her read. 45 and counting on the shot clock. Bahar takes the shot from behind the net. Sorry, gets the possession. Sun Devils, big crowd in front of the net, and Denver comes up with the ball.
And a good look there for the Sun Devils. Just, I think that was Number 13 in the middle there for the Sun Devils, able to corral the pass there and just not unable to get a shot off.
Denver on offense once again came up with a score on their first possession, looking to make it 2. 10-3 is your score. Just about 10.5 ticking in this third period. Denver driving into the middle of the circle. Back out to Much, riding around the circle, tossed out to X. Back to the top of the arc is Wilmot for the Pioneers, who's driving in around the right. A toss just to center, and lays it in. Ryan Deneen adding to the score for the Pioneers and makes the second Pioneer on the day with a hat trick.
And again, a great offensive play there by Denver, but ASU, you can't allow a cutter to cut right in front of the crease, and there was 2 Sun Devils trailing her, so the help defense came, but way too late.
Denver's offense continuously has gone with what I'm going to self-dub a little tap, tap, boom action, getting a pass out from X to the top of the arc, getting a runner through just outside of the crease, gets that lay-in, throws it in. We've seen it just a few times here from the Pioneers, and it has proved successful nearly every time aside from that one tossover that we've seen.
Just the second assisted goal of Denver's 11 so far with 10:20 left, and I think ASU on defense was so concerned about the Denver players driving that they lost the cutters.
Denver now wins this draw, is going to get another opportunity on offense. Karis Volley, the freshman and midfielder for the Pioneers, near the far left side with the ball. Denver looking to make a few personnel changes here, maybe get some younger faces in. Up by 8. Ball has made its way back to the X slot. Thompson Marr passes to the left for Denver. Keel drives in outside. Sun Devils force a turnover there.
And have numbers if they want it. They could have 5-on-5 here, 4-on-5.
Very aggressive, continued pursuit for the Sun Devils. Make a shot near goal. Bahar with the assist and lays it in for the Sun Devils. Sorry, it ended up going just around to the outside, so Denver is going to pick up a new possession here.
Beautiful look for the Sun Devils, just hits the outside of the net. I mean, you have a...
Looked like Bahar had a one-on-one there.
You had a 1-on-0.5. You had a wide open net there.
That is a confusion on my part, but not a shot that Bahar would miss very often. The saying would make that 99 times out of 100 probably would apply for Bahar in that situation. And
again, it's one of those things where in practice, Bahar's making that every single time. It's a transition play you practice. And just unable to execute here.
Just an uncharacteristic mistake and an uncharacteristic day so far for Bahar as Denver driving inside the circle again. Henry with the save.
I think she ended, the Denver attacker ended up in the crease there.
Park now driving up the left side for the Sun Devils, tossed out to Nichols.
As a bright spot for the Sun Devils is Gabriella Henry, the freshman Georgia native coming in and making her impact felt.
5 saves on the day. Of course, Spice Sugar pulled without a save on the day. Henry proving to be just a little bit more efficient. It'll make you wonder what the Sun Devils' plan will be at goalie, not only for the next game, but for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, goalie's kind of the rock of your defense here. And it's not like hockey where you're switching them too often.
Not at all. Sun Devils driving in. Nichols tosses it out to Oldno. Oldno pressed by 2. Bahar. 2 pressed on her as well, just inside the circle, as a missed pass opportunity for the Sun Devils is going to cause a turnover.
Yeah, Tegan Lowry was right there. If she was able to catch the ball in the, again, mouth of the crease at a 1-on-1. Beautiful cut inside by her and just unable to catch it as she slams her stick in frustration on the back end.
Thompson Marr now at the right side. Far backing into the X for the Pioneers. Toss out to Harris, who tosses it back out to Deneen, having a spectacular day so far, looking to keep the offensive efficiency ramped up.
So you see the frustration building for the Sun Devils here, especially on the attack. Just on the back end when Denver has the ball in their own zone, you see Bahar just kind of frustrated with herself.
So much sloppy defense, so many caused turnovers by the Pioneers. Harris continuing to drive in, gets it back out to Bowers. Denver continuing to stay comfortable with those X positions. Ball's going to get tossed back out to Ripple, driving in through the left, a pass back out to X. Who's going to make her way around, and that's going to be saved. Helen Park got in there with Henry to make the stop and cause the turnover. New possession here for the Sun Devils.
Yeah, Thompson Moore wanted a penalty there, but not going to get one. Sun Devils looking to push in transition.
Sierra Ryan tosses it out to Bahar for the Sun Devils. Down by 8. 6-11 and ticking in this third period. We saw an exchange of goals to start off the period, and then not a whole lot from there.
Yeah, Sun Devils going to need to do a lot more than just exchange. Denver content to let that happen.
Bahar and the X gets it to Oldno. Oldno tosses it out to Morris. Morris once again top of the arc. Didn't get the look she wanted. Oldno back out to Bahar. Ing tosses it out. Morris once again out to Oldno. Pressed by one. Bahar alone in the X. Toss over the center to Morris, who's going to take the shot, and it's going to be stopped. Denver with some great defense just in front of the net.
Morris able to earn herself a penalty. That will send volley to the box, looks like. So ASU with another 8-meter. Still have a chance of their own with 5:22 left in the third.
Morris against Guaku here for the 8-meter. Morris drives in, and it is saved by Guaku.
And that's a tough one to miss because you have a 2-minute non-releasable. So you score there, you go to the draw, and you're still man up. It's a tough 8-meter to miss for the Sun Devils.
Sun Devils do retain possession on offense. Hammond and Morris with a few turnarounds. Back out to Morris at the top of the arc. Hammond and Bahar making a lot of work, but no shot on goals attempt quite yet here for the Sun Devils. Oldno driving in through the left. Toss in, and it is good. Oldno gets the goal to make it 11-4. Pioneers, 4:41 left in the third period.
And Oldno finally making her impact felt. Drives inside, kind of unassisted here. And from the near side, drives right on the corner of the 8-meter inside, earns top side, so no dangerous shot call there, and able to just underhand that near side pipe.
Yeah, it's taken a lot of opportunities here for these Sun Devil scorers to get going. It took Oldno 3 shot attempts. It took Ing 4 shot attempts to get their first goals on the board. Sun Devils looking for just a little bit more offensive efficiency. Still looking to take advantage of this man up as volley continues to sit in the box.
Yeah, the man up goal for the Sun Devils is they'll have a little less than a minute left in that. As we'll get a penalty on the draw and go the way of the Sun Devils.
Continuing to be an unfortunate miss factor for the game, but just the amount of draw control that the Sun Devils have over the Pioneers, it'll be a memo all day, unable to capitalize.
I think that will be a green card against 44, Alex Dorr. So for an illegal use of the stick, and Denver here. Now, of course, new rule this year, green cards apply throughout the whole field. So if ASU can clear this here, they'll have a stellar 2-man advantage.
And that's also huge for the Sun Devils because that is Denver's draw specialist, Alex Dorr, who got the penalty there. So if you're the Arizona State, you're looking to score here, maybe get a different person in the circle against Viglione.
The Sun Devils going to need to only have the 2-man advantage for a little much longer.
Bahar backing up. A shot in for Morris. Couldn't get the look. Tosses it back out to Carinati. Shot over to Olno. Falls down.
I think it will be illegal contact there as Oldno will get a free shot from the 8.
Olno looks a little bit banged up.
Yeah.
Still not up yet.
Took a beating there, getting pushed down as she caught the ball, passed a little high and able to catch it. We'll see the trainers come on the field here as her teammates around her is moving, looks to be okay, just pretty shaken up after getting tossed to the turf.
Yeah, unfortunate possession there for the Sun Devils. I mean, obviously you said the pass was a little bit too high, but the look was good. Olno was being pressed by 3 Pioneer defenders, but a nice right sidearm looked like it had potential for Olno, who's going to head back to the sideline with the training staff.
Yeah, she's slowly jogging to the sideline here. She looks to be all right, I imagine. Again, no better cure than having the ball in your stick.
Pioneers coming back up to the field. 3:47 left in the third period. The Pioneers up by 7.
So ASU looking to capitalize off the Pioneers' sloppiness and
haven't quite got it done yet, but there's still a little bit of time left in this man-up advantage.
And the 8-meter. As the officials talking with the Denver coaching staff. It's the 8-meter upcoming. Of course, Oldno can't take it.
Looks like it's going to be Ing. My apologies. That's not going to be Ing. The 8-meter shot against Guaku, who's been pretty 50-50 on the day. Ball bounces on the ground a little bit too high, soars out of bounds. The Sun Devils unable to capitalize on another 8-meter shot.
Yeah, tried to go for the bouncer there and just bounces it way too high over the net.
Another overshot there by Hammond. Looked like she had a good look. A little bit of physicality there right in front of the net. Sun Devils will retain possession once again. Bahar with the ball. 26 on the shot clock.
As Denver back to even strength here.
Bahar driving in from behind the net. Not going to get the look, and that's going to be a turnover. Guaku comes up with the ball.
Bahar a little shaken up as she drove far side. Got hit right at GLE.
It's going to be Welty tossing it out to begin a new Pioneers possession. Sun Devils held control of that for a little bit, unable to come up with anything, which is not what you want if you're the Sun Devils down 7. Clock is itching closer and closer to the 4th period. Harris with the ball near the top of the arc for the Pioneers. Tosses out to Wilmot. Wilmot once again back out to Harris. Harris drives in a little bit of toss back out. Denver driving inside. Just off. This ball will go out of bounds. Sun Devils will.
And a great chase out there from Viglione. Just recognizes shot off the pipe and able to be the closest player there to earn the Sun Devils a possession. Just a hustle play.
Park will drive it up from midfield for the Sun Devils. A toss out to Ryan, who's going to let that ball slip by her.
And again, just messing up easy passes in between the restraining lines.
Yeah, like you said, they make these passes and these transition plays so many times in practice, and it's just got to hurt for Arizona State head coach Pulse to not see them come to fruition.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pass you make in the backyard with your friends all the time and just unable to convert on a lot of the easy ones here.
Harris playing it slow by the top of the arc. Deneen set on the right. Ball coasting up the left side of the circle for the Pioneers. 50 on the shot clock. Very comfortable situation here for Denver as we're going to get a whistle.
Be interesting to see who this is on. It was a hold. ASU's defender's stick got caught under the arm of the driving defender attacker. as 43. They'll stop the clock here as looks like Denver will earn an 8-meter.
Looks like it's going to be Thompson-Marr with the 8-meter opportunity against Henry, who's been pretty efficient on them so far today. Thompson-Marr lines up. Little step around to the left, and a shot sails over the goal.
Good defense on the 8-meter there for the Sun Devils, able to get right in front of Thompson-Marr.
Sun Devils can't let down, though. Pioneers retain possession. Thompson-Marr tosses out to Deneen. Deneen drives in near the top of the circle. On a one-on-one opportunity off the net of Henry. And a turnover. Sun Devils now on offense with 20 seconds and ticking left in this third period.
Yeah, Henry just able to have her stick in the right place at the right time and make a beautiful save.
Sun Devils clock is ticking now past 10. They need a shot opportunity here. Morris playing it slow near the line. Turnover for Denver, as that will do it for this third period. A turnover by Denver, some pretty good press defense, able to stop any last-second opportunity for a goal in the third, as your score is 11-4. Denver up on Arizona State in Tempe.
Yeah, and that turnover at the end is just not something you can have happen at all. I mean, you either could come out of the third quarter and start the fourth with possession, or get a shot opportunity or anything, and to turn it over right at the restraining line, it's just, again, another sloppy mistake.
Taking a look at the statistics here going into the fourth so far by both sides. Henry making an impact, like you said, coming into the game a little bit through the first period now. 7 goals allowed, but 6 saves. And just some great offensive efficiency here for Denver. Deneen with a hat trick, Keel with a hat trick, Ripple, one of the most outstanding offensive players for the Pioneers, with 2 goals by herself, having taken 4 shots. And just the memo of this game is going to be the amount of costly turnovers and sloppy penalties that the Sun Devils have allowed Denver to capitalize off of.
And we've been, at least I've been, very critical of the Arizona State offense and just the sloppiness as a team as a whole, but you also have to give credit where credit's due, and that's to Denver. They've forced those transition turnovers and the sloppy mistakes.
Yeah, 16 turnovers caused by Denver compared to Arizona State's 9, and it seems like when Denver causes a turnover, they're able to capitalize on it about 50% of the time, but Arizona State really seems like they have yet to capitalize off a big turnover.
Yeah, and the transition offense that was so prevalent for the Sun Devils in their first game versus Oregon, non-existent here, and that's in large credit due to the Denver midfielders and really attackers in the clear.
Yeah, we have some different players coming in to play the draw, but the most outstanding for Arizona State, obviously, Anna Viglione with 8, compared to Denver as a team only has 4. 11 total for the Sun Devils, so big offensive memo for the team coming into this game was start strong. You win the draws starting off. Seems like Arizona State have full control of it in the first period. I believe Denver only came out with 1 at the end of the first. Picked up on it a little bit through the second and third periods, but still Arizona State with a big lead in draw control, unable to capitalize.
And injury update for Lydia Oldnow. Looked to just be cramped as she was getting her leg massaged on the sideline during that, and was stretching out a lot while players were getting set.
Best case scenario for the Sun Devils, Oldnow still one of your best attackmen there. Looked like she took a hard fall being triple pressed going in for the shot attempt. So nice to see that. Nothing too bad.
So because of the turnover, Denver will start with the ball.
Deneen begins the fourth period, tossed out to Thompson-Marr for the Pioneers. Tegan Lowry coming in for Oldnow, it would appear. Denver still cradling just around the top of the arc near the line. Deneen drives up from 24. All the way through by herself, takes the shot just off the pipe, rebounded by the Pioneers, who are going to try to get a reset here, and we get a whistle.
And a head contact. Another just sloppy check from the Sun Devils will lend another 8-meter to Denver.
Yeah, great offensive tempo there by the Pioneers. Missed a shot just off the pipes, but able to get a quick rebound and turnaround. It'll be Ripple, of all people, for the Pioneers, 8-meter, and it is in. Henry couldn't get the position in time as Ripple adds to the third hat trick total for the Pioneers.
I mean, Henry is a right-handed goalie, and if you're Ripple, to put that far corner hip level on her offhand side, not much that Henry can do there on the 8-meter if you rip that in. It's the Denver bench with a little dance of their own.
I was trying to remember what the name of that dance was. They had their arms interlocked doing the one kick after the other. I want to say it's Peretz, but I believe I'm wrong.
That's some ball knowledge there, knowing the name of the dance. Wow.
I'm probably wrong, but better to take a shot than not take the shot at all. Arizona State sets up Viglione in once again for a draw.
Could apply that saying to ASU, as they only have 10 shots on goal. Needing to just take more.
Need to be more aggressive. Denver so far getting those individual drive-ins just time and time again. And I mean, I said it early in the first period when it was a little bit more common, but Izzy Hammond for the Sun Devils sitting on the left side of the arc seems like she's had a few open opportunities, but Sun Devils continuing to play pretty passive, looking to get that tap-tap boom that I talked about earlier. Shevitz, far side, tosses it to X. Sun Devils still playing it calm. Nichols at the top of the circle for the Sun Devils tosses it out to Oldno, who has returned to the game. Nichols and Oldno exchange 4 back and forth, make that a 5th, back to Nichols. Looking for something, toss out to Butcher.
As you the ASU bench with some chanting, trying to invigorate this offense.
Gonna get some head contact there. Another whistle going the Sun Devils' way.
So be another 8-meter. Sun Devils will look to capitalize off of with 13 left in the game. Sun Devils gonna need a hefty fourth quarter to come back.
This will be Addie Shevitz with 1 point, an assist on the night. Getting ready to take the 8-meter against Guaku. Takes a shot inside, bottom left corner of the net. 12-5 Pioneers.
Fakes high, goes 5-hole, and a beautiful shot.
Shevitz able to add to what was a triple tower lead. We're going to get a 30-second clock reset, but pretty aggressive tempo here on offense, even though they're still, I feel like the Sun Devils are still playing a little bit too much outside. They need to try to communicate more as a team inside the 8-meter circle, inside the 12-meter circle. Quit playing around the X as your main anchor. Try to get the ball out a little bit more to the center of the field. 12-5, 12:42 left in the fourth as Viglione sets off for another draw against Dorr.
And the draw is going to be ever more important as the game progresses if the Sun Devils are able to string a few together here.
Sun Devils add first in the fourth as they retain possession on the draw. A nice turnover there by Denver as they will continue on offense. Olivia Ripple there with the nice caused turnover. She led her team as an attackman in caused turnovers last season, continuing to do so, making an impact on offense.
And Ripple just with a great goose to herself and able to corral the ball. Just a great job using the stick to corral the ground ball and recognizing you can't pick it up and goose it one way and able to pick it up.
Keelan volley for the Pioneers, looking to get some one-on-one shots. Deneen tosses it back out to the top of the arc, or Thompson Marr drives in from the top. A nice exchange out to the middle, and Deneen gets the tap in.
We're starting to see a lot more assisted goals from Denver, as makes it 12-5, just under 12 minutes left in the game. But I think it's been a story of the lack of Sun Devil defense and the success of the Denver offense.
I totally agree. It looked like Deneen had a nice look there by herself in the circle, but gets the tap out and allows a different Pioneer to add to the score sheet.
As again, these ever more important face-offs, Viglione getting another shot at it.
Arizona State still heavily winning the draw control battle, 13-4. Arizona State looked like they had fallen off of that battle a little bit in the second period, but this whole second half, Viglione continuing to take control. This ball goes far out near the side as Denver going to have a woman slip, and that ball slips out. Ball is going to be called for the Pioneers.
Yeah, Viglione just trying to discreetly box out 2 Denver defenders there and unable to.
Keel holding the ball at the top of the zone, tossed out to Thompson Marr. Different personnel making some exchanges here for the Pioneers. Deneen coming back into the game as well as Bowers. Deneen tossed out to Keel, who tosses out to Wilmot. Playing a little bit of back and forth just near the 24-meter line. Deneen driving in a toss out to Wilmot. Just near the top of the 8-meter, backed out. Ball sails over Thompson Marr, who's going to pick it up just near the sideline. Good reset here for Keel and the Pioneers. Keel's going to drive in herself near the top. A little bit of a slip by the 12-meter, backed out to Thompson Marr. 38 on the shot clock. Denver looking to stay aggressive here. Thompson Marr tosses out and in. Caroline Keel with the nice alley-oop to the bottom left side of the net to add on to the score. 14-5 Pioneers in Tempe.
Yeah, Thompson, Marr, and Keel, a little give-and-go action, a little two-man game from the far side, right inside the 8 and 12-meter, and just the icing on the cake in this one.
They were making a lot of back and forth near by the 24-meter line. They drove in together, and once they got to that 12-meter line, they knew what their game plan was. Nice little tap out as a new leading goal scorer. We had 3 women tied with the hat trick, but now a new leading goal scorer is dethroned. Deneen and Keel are going to even up at 4.
10:40 left as the lead is blossomed to 9 for Denver.
Yeah, just like you said earlier, Denver looking to continue. I mean, it seems that they had a really strong game plan going in with those one-on-one shots, but now with a comfortable lead, now up by 9. But in this fourth quarter, Denver continuing to try to attempt a few more assisted goals than previous. Denver's going to come up with the draw, but Sun Devil possession in the offensive zone. Ripple caused the turnover quickly after the Sun Devils had it. Ripple pressed by 2.
Just sloppy, hanging your stick out, and Ripple taking advantage of that. As Denver will take a timeout as Ripple was getting doubled in the corner there.
Just great ball control by both Ripple and Thompson Marr. They've been running kind of a double tandem when the ball gets out to the corner of the arc. And I mean, Ripple obviously on a tear today with a hat trick of her own. Thompson Marr with a few points to her name.
So barring a miracle with 10:16 left in the game, in that ASU huddle, what do you build on here?
I mean, in this fourth quarter, you have seen Arizona State come out with 1 goal. Obviously, it was off the 8-meter. But I've been saying it since the second period, a lot more since halftime. You need to keep the offensive tempo up. Denver started off with a heavy offensive tempo, taking a lot of one-on-one opportunities. The Sun Devils need to play aggressive. You said barring a miracle, which is certainly true, but down 9, obviously anything can happen in NCAA D1 sports, but a big hole, which has just grown increasingly bigger in this fourth quarter. Denver scoring 3 after Arizona State got the first tally. And in that huddle, Coach Pulse for the Sun Devils needs to start driving it up. I know in hockey, when you're down, you need to pull out that goalie and just get so much more aggressive on offense. And, I mean, in lacrosse, you're just going to need to continue to drive into those one-on-one opportunities whenever you can.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you there. But for ASU moving forward, it's not really a lack of talent. It's more so just it's just the miscues and the mistakes that may have been forced by Denver, some of them, but then also just kind of shooting yourself in the foot. I've mentioned it countless times. Just the turnover they just had right by the restraining line, just hanging your stick, being a little sloppy with it after the whistle, and a player like Ripple is going to eat your lunch every day with that.
And it's just great to see the aggressiveness from the Pioneers. Obviously, they're still up 9, but the second that the whistle is blown, Sun Devils' possession is called by the referee. Olivia Ripple picks up right where she left off and causes the turnover, where Denver will resume with clock just about to tick past 10 minutes remaining in this game. Deneen holding the fort by the left side of the circle. Pioneers look to drive in, tossed back out. Ball's placed in X to Thompson Marr for the Pioneers. Ripple sat around that left corner once again. Thompson Marr takes it herself back inside the arc. Keel holding possession firm at the top. Looked to be driving in, pressed heavily by Sun Devil. Deneen driving in, sat at the 8-meter circle, pressed by 2, tossed back out to Keel. Keel back out to Ripple. Volley with the ball, little toss out, bit too aggressive from the Sun Devils.
Yeah, again, there's aggressive defense, and then there's just sloppy defense. And I think for Morris there, a New York native, like, can't extend your arms and knock the player to the ground there.
We talked pregame about the differences in physicality between men's and women's lacrosse. It looks like Arizona State's coming in with a little bit more of a men's lacrosse game plan on defense as Henry makes a nice save. That was going to sail past the net, but just keep the offensive tempo rolling with a save and immediate toss out.
Yeah, Henry recognizing that Denver loves to attack that offside hip shot and getting her stick over in a hurry.
Cleveland runs it up for the Sun Devils, who now hold possession at the top of the arc. Morris holding firm, tossed out to Ing, who's going to look Shevitz's way behind. Shevitz drives in, a toss out, sails over Old Nose Head, going to be a turnover picked up by Thompson Marr of the Pioneers.
Another turnover for the Sun Devils. 18 on the night, turnovers that is, for the Sun Devils, in comparison with 9 for Denver. As Sun Devils again commit a penalty and will send...
That's going to send Bowers. Sorry, not Bowers. That's going to send Morris to the box.
So Morris heads to the box as she'll take a knee.
Definitely going to be the Sun Devils' game plan moving into their next matchup. Lighten up on defense, bar back some of the physicality, and limit the turnovers. Pioneers once again on offense. A Ripple with the ball at the top of the arc, tossed out to Keel. Back behind the net, Thompson Marr. Deneen looking to take a shot from the top of the circle. A toss out, but just behind the net. Still some heavy offensive aggressiveness from the Pioneers, who retain possession. Ripple going to pick up the ball just at the top of the arc. Thompson Marr looking to drive in, heavily pressed. Back out to Deneen. Over the top to Keel. Ripple a quick toss out. A loose ball just in front of the net. We had 3 Sun Devils and 1 Pioneer, and we're still able to cause a scramble, which is going to go the Pioneers' way. Keel with the ball now.
Yeah, ASU just, again, too aggressive with their checking. Just stick goes down on the forearm of the Denver player, and can't do that, and Denver earns an 8-meter.
The 8-meter shot from Wilmot sails past the right side of the pipes, but Denver retains possession once again. Seems like Denver's been in this offensive zone for quite a while.
As another 8-meter from another aggressive illegal check from the Sun Devils.
I just don't understand what goes into the Sun Devils game plan when you cause an 8-meter. You don't allow it to score, and then you immediately rinse and repeat. Keel takes the 8-meter.
Off the crossbar, or Henry saved that. Either way, Henry with a beautiful showing coming into this one as a freshman.
Looks like if Henry can continue to grow her quick decision making and just continue to show that she's strong on that offside, might end up getting the kneel over Zweischiger for the rest of the season. Sun Devils now with possession. Ing tosses out at the top of the circle, back out to Witt. Arizona State now with 5 minutes left in this game, looking to get in some personnel. Witt, a freshman attacker, now getting in. Prime position for the Sun Devils. Tossed out to Ing. Just at the 8-meter line. Ing heavily pressed by 2, but lays it in. That bottom left side of the net has been a strong spot for Tegan Ing, who makes it another goal on her night, now to 2.
So Ing gets pressured by 2 Denver defenders at the 8-meter and then kind of slyly lowers a shoulder into one of them to clear some space. And again, the physicality on the offensive side of the ball, you're going to get the benefit of the doubt. It's like that in almost every single sport. The offense is normally going to get the benefit of the doubt there, as Ing does, and doesn't get the penalty whistled on her and keeps driving in and gets it to a one-on-one with the goalie and capitalizes.
The Pioneers have been going in with Carly Much at the draw against Viglione, who's been in there the entire game for the Sun Devils. But Denver, like we said, messing around with a little bit of personnel. Sun Devils score to make it 14-6, but still a comfortable lead with a little over 5 minutes left here in this match. Viglione and Much prepare for the draw. Going to get a whistle immediately after the draw.
Be a hold on ASU. Players thought it was on Denver, but it's on ASU, and a green card shown.
Denver continuing to reign heavy on offensive time of possession, not only through the second half, but through this entire game. The first period was over and over and over. Denver would run out the shot clock, retain possession, get a brand new 90 seconds in their offensive zone, and that's been the story of this game for Denver.
And Claire Butcher will sit and take a knee in the box for a minute here as 5:10 left in the game. Denver trying to get it past the line, and they do.
Caroline to Caroline action. Bowers there out to Keel. Denver continues to hold comfortably behind the net. Keel with the ball once again in the corner. Denver. Keel lets the ball sail under. It'll be a one-on-one battle for the turnover as Arizona State comes up with it. Being pressed by 2. A little bit too aggressive possession will stay with Arizona State as Sierra Ryan came up with the ball, able to hold firm against a double press by Denver.
And a green card shown to Keel there is a beautiful box out and ground ball there for Ryan for the Sun Devils.
Sun Devils and Pioneers now even on the man advantage. Ryan will start with the ball from the defensive zone of the Sun Devils.
Yeah, the sophomore defender, Colorado native, not from Denver, from Frederick, but nevertheless kind of playing one of the 2 home teams.
Arizona State driving by midfield now. Keely Cleveland was driving hard with that ball ever since midfield, but a whistle and another green card is called. This one's going to be on Denver, Kendra Harris.
So 2 green cards, 2 shown very quickly. So Sun Devils, again, mentioned this before, but the new rule this year with green cards applying to the whole field here. So 2 1-minute releasable penalties. So Sun Devils have a 2-man advantage.
Sun Devils looking for some action as the ball's going back and forth in the X slot. Quick toss up and lays it in. Lydia Oldno adding on to her stat sheet, making this 14-7 Sun Devils. Sorry, 14-7 Pioneers, but a score for the Sun Devils.
So Lydia Oldno just gets the pass from X, and then one-on-one with the goalie is going to smartly work her way top side to increase the angle, and fakes high and fakes high twice, fakes low once, and then fakes high again and shoots it low, underhand shot, and gets it to go.
Nice patience and decision-making there from Oldno. Never backing down from what looked like a nice one-on-one opportunity with her and one defenseman, and then after a few back and forths becomes a situation one-on-one with the goalie, who, credit to her, the score is 14-7. Guaku for the Pioneers having a pretty efficient day here.
It's a procedure penalty, and on the draw, as ASU will start with it. So they want to mount a comeback with 4:04 left. Going to need to score a few ones quickly.
Sun Devils begin at midfield. Cleveland drawing out quickly. Ava Witt with the ball driving in by the 12-meter mark, tossed out to Nichols. Continuing to play back and forth at the top of the arc, back out to the X. Witt taking heavy pressure just by the 8-meter line. Nichols sets up for a heavy shot, tosses out to Shevitz. Just as a good position looked for Oldno, a whistle is blown. Looks like we're going to get an 8-meter shot here for the Sun Devils. Oldno preparing to take it against Guaku.
And if you're the Sun Devils, that's exactly who you want taking it.
Sails over the left side of the pipes. Sun Devils will retain possession. Continuing to play by the X. Looks like Denver ended up causing a turnover just as the ball was tossed inside. That was Ava Welty, the defenseman for the Pioneers, who tosses it out to Megan Klingenberg for a nice reset. 2:44 and counting here in this match. Denver up 14-7 on the Sun Devils.
I imagine Denver will use all 68 seconds left in the shot clock, as you mentioned. 2:30 and counting.
Both clocks ticking. Very still field here from the Sun Devil Soccer Lacrosse hybrid field. Denver finally picking up the tempo. Still 50 left on the shot clock. Carly Much playing very aggressive. Sails past the net, goes out of bounds.
And yes, it is a hybrid field, but only women's lacrosse lines on it right now in a beautiful natural grass field.
Denver continuing to hold pressure. Henry with the save. Kendra Harris went in there on a very aggressive shot. Looked like sort of a Michigan arrangement, as you would see in hockey, coming right around from the back of the net by the edge of the crease. Sun Devils pick up possession here.
Sun Devils just trying to develop something to build on in the film room, something to build off of.
Maybe throw out an untested play here, untested formation with the same old personnel. Get something, like you said, to show in the film room. Sun Devils backing out near the 12-meter, continuing to stay passive. Nichols with the ball, tossed back out. Nichols at the top, out to Ing. To the corner by Shevitz, back out to the X. Bahar, pretty silent day in the X spot. Pick up by Nichols. Sun Devils, no offensive aggressiveness as Denver causes a turnover. Landry Grover, by where the Sun Devils are playing X, cause a turnover. Guaku tosses out to Carly Fronaffel as we have 50 seconds left. 80 on the game clock. Sorry, 77 on the shot clock, 44 on the game clock. Denver continuing to look like they're going to go for another shot attempt here.
Yeah, the 5'9" senior from Texas able to force the turnover there, and Denver able to quickly clear it.
Pioneers staying aggressive near the left side of the 8-meter mark, tossed out just over the left side. Clock continues to tick. Denver retains possession. Driving in for Denver, a quick 3-on-1 just outside the crease is no good. The clock continuing to tick past 10. Deneen gets tripped up just by the out-of-bounds line as the clock will continue to tick past 3. As the horn blows, and this game is over. Your final score from Tempe: Denver Pioneers 14, Arizona State Sun Devils 7. Pierce, what were your biggest takeaways from both sides of the ball in this game?
Denver showed why they're the number 22 team in the country, and I think really, if you're giving out MVPs, it'd be the whole Denver defense. The Denver defense just suffocating this ASU offense. I mean, limiting Oldno and all the other prolific Sun Devil offensive players. I know a lot of preseason Big 12 honors selections for them, and this Denver defense just able to suffocate them. And I think that was a huge part for the win. ASU only on their defensive side, only allowing 14 goals. That's not something that any coach is going to be happy about, but that is a winnable score.
It is. Landry Grover leading the Pioneers in caused turnovers with 3. A big takeaway that the Sun Devils are going to look to improve into their next matchup is that they had 21 total turnovers. Only 11 of them were caused by Denver, meaning the other 10 were self-inflicted. And that ended up hurting them time and time again. Seemed like every inflicted turnover in the first half ended up resulting in a Denver goal, where they were able to comfortably pull away 9 goals in the first half for the Pioneers compared to the Sun Devils 2.
Yeah, as handshake line starting and ASU opening the season 0-2.
Not the greatest start if you are the Sun Devils. A close overtime loss at Oregon, but now just a dismantling by the Denver Pioneers, ranked number 22 in the country for a reason, like you said. And Denver is going to look to build off a 2-0 start, ranked top 25 in the country, as the Sun Devils look to rebound. We are going to cut to a break here from the Sun Devil Soccer Stadium. And your final score here, 14-7, Pioneers over the Sun Devils. Thank you for joining us here on the Blaze Sports YouTube channel. I am Ian King.